Okay, so let's have a look at budgets now and how you can set up and manage budgets. So I guess the first thing to look at is there is a budgets menu off the business drop down. So if you click on that and go to budgets, any budgets you have kind of in place are listed here. And then we have reporting on budgets here as well. So effectively you can click on a say an HR budget, click progress report, download report, and then you'll get an Excel spreadsheet which will have all the details of your spend and things like that. There's also under business and settings is a budget option, and the budget option here is things like who we're going to show the budget to. We're going to show the budget to the originator, i.e. somebody who's raising the order. Are we going to show the budget to the approver? If they click to approve and click the link that says review with detail, we will show them the budget, or we won't show them the budget. Budgets include tax. Generally that's going to be switched to off, but if you're a company that can't claim tax back, then you might want to switch that to on. Notify the head of the business unit, notify the division head. This is about kind of notifying people when divisions or departments are getting to the end of their budget, or that their budget's about to run out, and the threshold that you can determine that on is a number down here. The other important kind of options we have on budget are things like when is a budget committed, when is spend committed, is it on approval or is it on sending an order to a supplier. So if I raise a purchase order, when is it committed? When you know Tony the MD says that's approved, or is it later on when we acknowledge that we've sent the order off to the supplier? The other option finally we have here is include the draft orders in the pending amount. So with a budget we have what your budget is, what's committed and what's pending. So in fact we can look at that now. One of the options you have, there's two ways of consuming a budget, three with reporting and analysis. But if we went to a division, go into say the IT department and look down here, I've got the budget for this particular month. This is the period, June 2017. I've got my different lines here in my budget: IT hardware, IT training, software, IT recruitment, and I'm obviously spending on my hardware line. I had a budget of 12,000, I've committed 24,000, so I'm 12,000 over on my budget. So how is that allowed? Well, that's a setting in the budget itself. In projects, if we go into projects and we look at the server room refurb as a project, and we come down here again, although we've got a kind of arbitrary number up here, like a target number, how much we target to want to spend here holistically, 28,000. If we come down here, we've actually got the proper budget. So you've got the IT hardware line on the budget, and 7,800 repairs and renewals. We've got 45,000 we're going to spend. So we've got a project with combined spend of 28.5 and 45 to be used purely for the refurbishment of the server room. And then down here we can see what we've got committed, what we've got pending, and what the balance are on these two. So project budgets are fairly straightforward. You can see exactly where you are with what you've got left to spend. If I go into the budget itself and we have a look at say the server room refurb budget, these are the various different settings we have here. So we've got the name of the budget, what the period is. So we've got week, month, quarter, year, indefinite. So on a project budget there might not actually be an end point on a project budget. It could be just it's going to run till it runs. The other options you have are enforce spend control. If we switch that on, then we can't raise any orders in excess of the budget. So that's quite an interesting feature that you can toggle on and off. And we've got enable rollover as well. So obviously unused spend or underspend or overspend can be carried on to the next period. So that's more kind of relevant with something like a monthly departmental budget. If we go into the second tab of any budget, we've got the detail, we've got the narrative. So this one's really straightforward. It's an indefinite budget, so it's just some numbers. So IT hardware 28.5, repairs and renewals 45,000. If we switch over to say a division budget, the IT department budget, This is a monthly budget. We say that the budget resets on the 1st of the month. It runs to the end of the financial year, 31st of the 3rd, and the budget is on nominal codes. Obviously, we've got a choice of nominal codes, cost codes, or it could just be absolute. So we can see we've got rollover switched on. If we now, and we can see it's associated with the IT department, if we go into the details tab now, this is a lot more kind of spread out, because we've got sort of £12,000 a month on IT hardware. And of course, if I wanted to and say, actually in September, we know that you're going to do a PC refresh, you can spend 18,000, so you can do that. So you can edit these figures after the event as well, after the budget's been associated. But effectively, it's very easy to kind of set a budget up. So if we were to set a budget up from fresh, we'll go right, new budget, and we'll call it sales budget. And we're going to make this one a weekly budget, and it's going to reset every Monday. And we're going to run to the 4th of May 2018, and we're going to do it on nominal codes. So we click next. So this time we go right, add a line. We're going to put it on telephone. You can spend £200 a week on the telephone. If I go show all periods, then that 200 is passed across for every single week. We'll have another one here on stationery. You can go 320 a week on stationery. And then we'll go for premises expenses of 120. Go next. I'm going to commit the changes. I want to proceed. And now if I go back into my sales budget, there it is. It's all set up, but I haven't associated it with anything yet. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to associate it with the marketing department. Note the marketing department says it's already attached to a budget, so I'm going to associate it with the finance department. So I click associate. That budget is now associated with the finance department. So if you go into divisions and finance, and we go down to budget, there's our budget now that we've just created, and it's telling us we're on week 9 already.